Hi guys, it's Jane Mark from So Cool Inc. I want to welcome you all on a Saturday. I just love it when you guys show up on a Saturday. I know it's hard to do. You have families. You want to do something else besides this marketing stuff. So I really appreciate your being here. My partner, Phil Baston, is sitting next to me, and he's in the chat room. And while I'm talking, if you have any questions, pop them into the chat box and get them answered right away. Phil will answer you right away if you have any questions as we're going through this today. Now, this is actually a webinar on list building. Phil calls it list building made easy. I call it all things lists, but whatever, we're going to talk about how to build a list, when to contact your list, what to say to them when you do contact them, what not to say, how to turn list members into friends and buyers, and it's really all three things lists. But before we start, and before I put up a follow-along link so you can follow along where we are, I want you to answer a couple of questions. We always start off with some questions just to get your mind percolating. So here's question one. Before you mail to any list that is not your own, meaning an outside list, not one you own or have developed, what is the first thing you need to do? Let me repeat that. Before you mail to any list that is not your own list, what is the first thing you need to do? Just throw some answers up. There's more than one right answer, but let's hear some of your thoughts on. Just type something in the chat box, and then Phil will give me some answers from you guys. Before you mail to any list that is not your own, meaning some list that you belong to that is somebody else's list, like one of our lists or somebody else's list on the net. What is the first thing you need to do before you mail to that list? Let's hear some answers, Phil. What do we got?
Okay, we've got three answers that are the same, which is make a landing page, make a splash page, have a capture page of your own.
Oh, you guys are so smart. All of it. We got three right answers right away. Create a splash page, create a landing page, create a capture page. All of those are correct, and they are, in fact, the same thing. Absolutely critical. Wait, Phil's telling me one more thing here. Yeah?
Another creative answer.
Okay, Phil likes this.
Ethical bribe to offer.
What, say that again?
Find a good ethical bribe to offer.
Oh, okay. This was another good answer. Find a good ethical bribe to offer. I love that. That's great. Who said that? Oh, Don. Absolutely a good idea. But even if you're going to find a wonderful ethical bribe to offer, you need to offer it on a capture page, because you do not want people to just go straight to a link. You want to capture their email. So let's go to question two. When you mail to your list, we now know you're going to use a capture page. You can use one like I have showing on the screen here or something similar. What are you doing when you mail to somebody else's list? What are you actually doing? I'm going to turn this around on you, Don, and say I'm looking for a word that's more unethical. So what are you really doing when you send a capture page to somebody else's list? Did I stump you guys? Throw up an answer. Okay, wait a minute. I didn't stump you. Phil's going to read me some answers. Hang on.
Capturing their email address, stealing their leads.
Oh, thank you, thank you. That was the answer I wanted. You are stealing their leads. Yes, that is exactly what you are doing. When you are mailing to somebody else's list and you are using a capture page, you are doing it for one reason and one reason only, and that is to get them on your list. You don't care a whit if you sell anything on that particular mailing. That is not your aim when you mail to outside lists. You actually should never send an affiliate link or a link that is not your own site to other people's lists. I know it's so tempting. We all want to sell something instantly, immediately, so we shoot it out, and we lose a whole lot of prospective buyers because most people, guys, do not buy from you the first time they see an ad from you. And they especially do not buy from you if they know nothing about you. They want to get to know you first before they're going to buy from you. So when you send out an affiliate link on So Cool or on For Serious Marketers Only or on Puffin List or any list that you belong to that is not your own list, you are wasting a mailing. You really are. You are wasting a mailing. You always want to send out a capture page so that when you are selling, let's say you're selling whatever, XYZ pet food site, you want to talk to that list over and over again about the product that you're selling. Because while they may not buy from you the first time, so therefore if you send them an affiliate link and they don't like it and they close it, bye-bye, you've lost them. You're not going to get them back. But if they're on your list, you can talk to them about your product, why it's important to them, what you know about it, and you can really dig in and develop a relationship with your list. So that is really important. When you mail it, whether you're mailing to a large list or a small list, or a new list or an old list, unless it is your own list, in which case, of course, you can send them to any link that you like because they're already on your list. But if you are mailing to outside lists, you must use a capture page. Okay, so and now we can put up the I see I didn't stump you guys this time. Good answers. So I'm going to put up a follow along link so that as we go over some things about building lists and how to use them, that you'll be able to follow along. So let me get it up on the screen for you. Oh, wait, if I do that, I'm going to lose getting to know you, right? So you have to remember, guys, I know a lot about lists, but very little about being a tech person online. There we go. List making made easy. Okay, so we talked about what we're going over today, how to build lists, what to say, and what to do it. We went over the questions. You are going to always create a capture page. And this is interesting. I'll probably send this out tomorrow just to see how many leads I can get on this. This one I said to you that I created right before the webinar, really easy, and I created it on your list. So there's nobody on this list yet except me, because that's one thing. When you create a capture page, let's back up for 1 minute. Let me see if I can go down to the bottom here. All right, so here's my capture page. People can play the music. Tomorrow I'll be selling something with this. You wait and see. I'm going to change this tomorrow. I just did this for this webinar. Anyway, you're going to have people enter their name and their email address, and then you're going to get them on a list, right? So you want to make sure that you can intrigue them and really get them on a list. Right now, today, and I'll let you know what happens tomorrow when I send this out. But right now, there's nobody, unless a few of you signed up just to see what this was about. There's nobody on this list. But now let's go back to the follow-along list. This is a link I created about 90 days ago, maybe a little more. And I send it out often. I send it out on other people's lists. Sometimes I send it on my list. Sometimes I do paid advertising to it. Anyway, right now it has actually, as of this morning, about 2,600 leads in it in 90 days. Now, that may not sound like a lot of leads to you, but I have done over 120 capture pages since On Your List began. And I don't know how long that was, maybe 6 months. I have about 15,000 new people, guys, on lists that I created just using these very simple capture pages. Because when I mail, no matter what I'm mailing, I always use a capture page unless it's my own list. If you have developed a list, then of course it is fine to send them. You don't want to annoy people by having them join more lists when they're already on many of your lists. So on your own list, you send them directly to the link that you want them to see. But on other people's lists, you must use a capture page. You can do that in many different places. I like On Your List. I belong to so many autoresponders, but I don't use them anymore. And I'm thinking of getting rid of them. I mean, I have Aweber, I have GetResponse, I have Traffic Wave. I'll tell you why I'm thinking of getting rid of them. And you'll see emails to that effect. And if you're on any of those lists, it's because there's a mailer involved with On Your List. And I use that mailer every day, and it gets more email through. Yes, it does. I'm going to say this. It gets more email through than Aweber or GetResponse combined. So just keep that in mind, because I know how eager people are to make money online. But if you don't approach your business online in a really thoughtful way, you are not going to end up, maybe you'll make a $10 bill here and there, or even a $47 bill here and there, but you will not develop a successful business unless you know how to build lists the correct way. And the correct way to build lists is to start with a capture page. So many of you belong to On Your List. Make sure you are using it. Now, your short-term goal, let's talk about building lists long-term and short-term. Your short-term goal is to send other emails to other people's lists and to encourage them and compel them to join your list. So you can do that in a variety of ways. Now, the reason that's your short-term goal is because if you don't have a list online, or if it's a very small list and you want to add to it, your short-term goal has to be to build that list up and make it a bigger list. Doesn't have to be huge. That is not the goal. Phil and I, for the last 14 years, have built lists. We have huge lists, 600,000 or more. But it took us a long time. It didn't happen overnight. And you don't need a huge list to make a living online. But you need more than 20 people. You know, you do need to keep growing it and exposing your offers to more and more people. Okay. So we talked about the first thing you should do is create a capture list. You can do that. Many of you do that at your autoresponders. That's fine. Or you can do it On Your List. That's where I prefer to do it because I'm a tech idiot, and On Your List is so easy to use that I literally, before I flipped this webinar on, made this getting to know you thing it was really 60 seconds. I created my own button. I put the words of the song in. This is actually a sales funnel, so people get to On Your List as the first thing, and then they get to all your lists in one place. So it literally took me 60 seconds. So if you want to know why I use On Your List, because Phil created it for tech idiots like me. So that's why I use it. It's so easy to use. But you don't have to use that. You can use whatever you're comfortable with. And I just lost the follow along. Let me get back to it. Okay, so your longer term goal is to start to build a little bit bigger list than you may have now. And you're going to do that by developing capture pages. But if you're going to do that, you need to belong to lists, lots of lists. Now, there are lists all over the net, right? I belong to over 50 of them. I'm talking about outside lists now, other people's lists, not my own list. I join them obviously over a long period of time. And whenever I find a new one that I like, I always let you guys know. You see, in fact, on Monday, watch for one. I'm going to let you know about a very interesting list. It also has So Cool involved in it, so you'll really like it. But you need to join lists, and you cannot join every list free and just stay a free member. It is not going to work, guys, because most of the time people do let you join their lists free, but you can mail to, I don't know, 500 people. That's nothing. I know it sounds like a lot of people, but it's nothing. So they let you join, mail to 500 people every once a week. That is not going to build you a list. So you need to have a business plan for growing lists. And that is, you need to take the list that you join, take a look at them. If you want to join them free, that's fine. But when you find one you like, you need to upgrade in them. Because even when you're upgraded, mostly you mail to 3,000 members at a time. I know that may sound like a lot of members to you. It is nothing. That is a really tiny mailing. Maybe if you have a good capture page, maybe if you're mailing to 3,000 people, maybe you'll get one sign up. Maybe. So you need a lot of different kinds of lists to be members of, and you need to budget. You can't sit there online and say, I don't have any money to run my business, because anyone who wants to run a business has to invest in it. There is no way around that. You will not succeed by joining every list on the net free. I guarantee you will not succeed. You need to pick the good ones and upgrade them. And if they tell you to mail every 3 days, let's say, which is a customary kind of outside list, right? If they tell you to mail every 3 days, don't miss a mailing. I am very serious. Your list members, or any list members, so if you want to steal some of these list members, they've got to hear from you regularly. If you can mail every 3 days, mail every 3 days, and don't miss that mailing. If you can mail daily, mail daily. It's really important. If you want to start to even get known on the net, people look for, if they like you, and we're going to get to how you develop a relationship with your list, but if people like you and get to know you and like you, they expect to hear from you regularly, not once a month, once a week. Ideally, when you grow your own list, which is what I do at On Your List, and I have, as I said, I have about 120 something, maybe it's up to 140 different capture pages, so I have 140 different lists. I mail to them daily. Now, I can do that with one click. I don't have to go and mail separately to each list. But if I want to mail separately, I can. Or I can click mail to all lists, and they get a mailing from me daily. One mailing daily. That to me, and I've been doing this a long time, is really the most productive way to start to develop a list and get your list to get to know you, is to mail daily. So your own list, you can do that with, whether usually an autoresponder, you can mail every day. You can do that at On Your List. These other lists that you are joining, outside lists, I'm calling them, Um, some you can mail daily, and you should, and some every 2 days or every 3 days or even every 5 days, but mostly every 3 days. And you really should make it your business to log in and to mail to those lists. Now, one of our wonderful founding members of On Your List and So Cool, one of my favorite people who's here today is Steve Terpstra, and from Australia. So I'm sure he's falling asleep. It's so late over there now. And he asked me a really good question the other day. Or I don't know if it was a question so much as he was sort of telling me that it was taking him a very long time to mail to his list because he belongs to a lot of lists. So I asked him why. And he told me that, you got to change the first name tag and do a lot of stuff. And some that can't put lists and URLs in, some you can. And it's a pain in the neck. So I made a suggestion, and I'm going to make it to you guys now. Try for your outside list. With your inside list, you can mail to them short messages or anything you want, really, once they get to know you. But for an outside list, and I have one here, okay, I would say don't personalize an outside list. It takes too long. And while it does make a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of a difference if you personalize it, it's not worth it for outside lists. It's better that you personalize for your own list. But I always drop the personalization. I keep the ad very short because these people, many of them don't really know me. And they're only going to read a very little bit, and then they're going to click off if they're not interested. So you really only have 5 seconds to capture the attention of your reader. So don't make it a long ad, because I guarantee you the people are their head's going to fall into the soup. They're going to fall asleep. That's it. End of story. You lost them. So do a very short ad for your outside list. And of course, I'm going to say this over and over again, use a capture page. Here's a promo that I sent out a couple of days ago. I was using to the outside list. I would use this same ad to my own list, but I wouldn't put in a capture page. But here, I put a capture page in. I didn't put a hi first name in there, right? I did a very short ad. This is really not a long ad. I signed it. Oh, please, people, please sign your ads. It makes me crazy when people will order, for example, solo ads at So Cool, and they don't know this even, but I mean, they'll put the ad in and I'll schedule it and I'll look at it. And if it doesn't have their signature, you know what? I put their name in. People do not like to see anonymous ads. Don't do that to people. They want to know that there's a real person with a real name who really is interested in this site that they're promoting. So always, always, always sign your emails. Always. It really is a terrible idea not to. And then you can go a step further. I sort of get branded now with, I always sign it, go get 'em, Jane. So everybody knows that's really me. If it says go get 'em, Jane. And then I add my full name and the site that I'm promoting. In this case, Steal My Traffic. So that's some of the ways, Steve, that you can cut down on the time. I know it doesn't mean that you're going to cut down on everything, but it does take too long to personalize it because everybody's got a different tag. I think that should be illegal. We ought to have a rule on the net that everybody's hi first name has to be the same. But until we do, just drop it for your outside list. You can personalize for your own list. Okay, so I want to make sure I didn't. Oh, okay. We were talking before about upgrading and planning a business. Planning a business. A business means that you can anticipate to get income at some point down the road, but not until you invest in it. Everybody invests in it. Twitter, when it first started, invested $44 million. People joined them and gave them $44 million. Now they're worth billions. But nobody comes online with no capital I'm not suggesting that you need $44 billion to start a business online, but you need something. You need something to invest in your business, and you need to give it time to grow. Time to grow. Most businesses, if you study how businesses, startups arrive online or in the bricks and mortar world, you will find that it often takes them at a minimum 2 years to get into profit. And many of them, as you know, with even Amazon and Twitter and Facebook and some of the biggest businesses on earth, even Microsoft, didn't get to be in profit for many years online. So I'm not suggesting that you should have to wait 5 years or 10 years, but patience to let what you're doing, i.e. building your list, let it grow. So you really have to keep reinvesting in your business, and that means upgrading in lists, because there are a lot of ways to advertise online, and you should be doing some of all of them. You need automatic advertising like submitters. You need to send traffic hits to your site. You need to be posting to Facebook and Twitter and all of the major social media sites. All of those ways of advertising are important, but they should all really be geared towards one thing: developing your own list and your own set of buyers. So I wouldn't post on Facebook unless, for example, if you're a member of SoCal and you're posting to all of the social media sites, don't post an affiliate link. Post a capture page. Because if they're really interested in what you're posting, if somebody sees it and likes it, they will sign up to your list in order to get the information or the program or the tool that you're suggesting to them. So it's very important to keep the one goal in mind. You should wake up in the morning and say, what am I going to do this morning to build my list with a little bit bigger than it is today? And please have realistic goals. When you send out a mailing, a capture page, do not expect to get 20, 30, 40 leads from one mailing. It's not going to happen. And I'm sure there are some of you who've had it happen on occasion, but really your lists usually grow by 2, 3, 4 people at a mailing. And if they grow by 0, you probably want to take a look at your capture page, because maybe you're not intriguing people. But you have to have realistic expectations about growing lists. People who tell you I got 1,000 members in one day are in all likelihood giving you a lot of hooey. I mean, it just really doesn't happen that way. Lists grow slowly, and I'll tell you an average. We have a service called Done For You, and we make a capture page for our members, and we make a sales funnel, and we do the copy, and we write the ads, and we send them out to our list. So the average, meaning sometimes more, sometimes less, of one mailing to our list, and we don't mail to all 600,000, but we mail to about 300,000 people, and we do a lot of posting. And people generally get about 20 leads, even from a very big push. And we do that twice on this Done For You service, and people end up with anywhere from 40 to about 60 to 80 leads from those 2 mailings. Now, those are a lot of, if you stay in touch with those leads and get them to know you and to like you, those can be absolutely invaluable to you. Absolutely invaluable. But you have to have realistic expectations. So if you buy, let's say, a solo ad mailing from anyone, anywhere, and you have unrealistic expectations that you're going to get, 100 or 200 or 1,000 or 500 list members, forget about it, guys. It's not going to happen. So again, I'm trying, I don't want to discourage anybody here, but I do want you to come in with a business-like mind. I think one of the things we see so often online is that people come in and they expect this to be easy. It's not easy. It really isn't easy. It takes a plan, it takes some money, and it certainly takes some time. But it's fun. Make it fun. You all saw this getting to know you uh, capture page that I made. That was fun. I had to go to YouTube and listen to the song and sing it out loud, and then I had to think of the words I wanted to put. You can get as creative as you like with a capture page and have fun. But you must do it, and you must plan to take those capture pages and mail them out somewhere every day. So let's go on. We went over a short ad that's not personalized. Now, what kinds of things shouldn't you send to your list? And there's certainly, I want you to be creative, but I don't want you to do certain things that tend to turn people off, even though you might not think it does. So we know that you can't send misleading subject lines like urgent from admin unless you're admin, or make 1 million in 30 days, because that's just nonsense. First of all, you'll get kicked off a list if you do that kind of thing, and an owner would be definitely within their rights, and all their terms will say this, that if you mislead people, and this is certainly misleading people, there are a lot of other things that mislead people, you destroy not only your own honesty and credibility, but you really diminish somebody's list. And then they're not going to want you on it, so they're going to delete you. End of story. You don't want to do that. Okay. Now, you can be funny and creative and, do a lot of things, but don't make fun of your reader. Don't make fun of your reader, because people are sensitive and they don't want to be told they don't know anything. They're idiots, or, I get such, I don't know what the word is, nasty emails from people. If you ran a store online and you wanted to get help from somebody, you wouldn't walk in the door and say, "You son of a, you know what? I don't like your clothes here. I'm not gonna buy from this store and take this sweater back." Right? You wouldn't do that, because you'd be face to face with I hope you wouldn't do that, but you'd be face to face with a live human being, right? Who you were interacting with, and you wouldn't want to treat them badly, at least most of them, even if you want help or you don't like the product and you want to return it or whatever it is. You do not want to go in and tell people they're idiots or your product stinks and you misled me and all that kind of nonsense. So your emails you have to keep in mind, and this is not just for building a list. I'm talking about when you request support from a list owner or from a program owner. Don't send them some horrible email telling them how awful they are and you hate them and you can't stand what they're doing and yada, yada, yada. Don't do it. I know sometimes it's tempting, but it's not going to get you anywhere. I think we're all learning from what goes on Facebook and Twitter and how fast things become public. You need to keep a public business face online. You really do. And you can't just say anything you want to anyone at any time. Your list members are going to look to you for help. So even if they send you terrible things, you still need to turn around and help them and be helpful and keep a professional way of doing business online, just like you would when you go into your local grocery store or your local car dealer or wherever. Okay, so let's talk about canned ads for a moment. Almost every site that you go on onto will have a promotion tools area in the members area. Those promotion tools are there for one reason and one reason only. They should be giving you the bullet points of a site. So for example, if you went into on your list and looked at the ads there, it will give you 4 or 5 salient points that will tell you what the site does. After that, do not copy that ad and send it out. Oh, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Just copy the ad. That's fine. Read it so that you absolutely start to understand the site and see what intrigues you about it. Whatever intrigues you about a site is what you want to put in your promos to your list members. Because that's another thing that I'm very strong on. Everybody sees through you if you're not genuine online. So if you don't know your site that you're promoting and you're just feeding, kind of canned lines to people, they will know it. They're going to close that ad. They're not going to even sign up to your list because they're going to get that all you've done is copy somebody else's ad and you don't know what you're talking about. So the first thing you want to do is get to know your site. And promo tools, meaning the banners, what they say, or the solo ads, what the owners are emphasizing, they will give you a starting point. And that's great. Grab the promo tools and use them at a starting point. But then put your own twist on it. Your own twist on it. Something made you join the site. Something made you join whatever site you are promoting. You liked it for some reason. And it's not necessarily what the owner's reason is. Maybe completely different, something we never even thought of as an owner. So try to use the promo tools as only the kind of nugget points of your ad. And then try to make the ad what you really love about the site or what you really think is important. People will know it. Believe me, you know a good ad when you see it, not because it's necessarily written by the best, marketer in the world or anything, but because it seems really real. It's genuine. You know the person who is talking to you knows what they're saying and means what they say. And then you can make a decision as to whether you want to go forward. So always write your own ads based on your own experience with the site, your own experience. If you didn't make $2,000 last week from the site, please don't say it. Please don't say it. Some of you know that I write ads, and I do at times put in how much money I've made from a site. You can bank on it that I have made whatever I say in an ad. That if I tell you I made $867 in a week from one safe list, that's what I made. And I can prove it. I can always prove it. I would never, ever, ever send out an ad that's not true. Never. Or not knowingly. I mean, I might promote a program that's not mine, and I could make a mistake. I have done that on occasion. I have promoted the wrong sites, and I'm always sorry. But usually I try to get to know a site that's not mine as well as I can, and to tell you the real story on it. Well, I'll talk to you about click-through rates on lists that I promote. So tell your own story. People really get to see the real you, and they appreciate that. When they know the real you, they will buy from you. Maybe not right away, but they will buy from you because most real yous and most real people, I'm a real optimist. I really like people, and most of us are really kind of nice and nice to get to know, and I love to get to know my list members. Some of them become my very close friends. I really like them, and I think they know that. So as Phil would say, let the real you shine through. Now, I'm going to turn you over to Phil for just a few minutes because He's the reason why I went to YouTube and put up this crazy capture page, getting to know you. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pass the mic to him and let him give you a story about getting to know you.
Hi guys, how you all doing? One of the things that I have noticed on the web, and I mean this is nearly 16 years I've been online now, but the thing that bugs me the most is when people go to social media sites, for example, and they, like Jane was saying, they put up this social media persona and they put up a dog, right, instead of their face. No, 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 no. Right? The dog might be cute. It might be a baby. It might be, a watermelon for all I care. Put your face up there. People want to know who they're dealing with. They are going to want to get to know you. Now, I'm not talking about giving away your deepest personal dark secrets. No, nobody wants to know that. But what they want to know is what you like, what you think, what you feel. Are you a regular person like them? Are you, do you understand where they're at? They're going to want to know things like who you are, what experience you have, what have you done in your life, how did you do it, what qualifies you to get what qualified you to get to where you are, and how can you help them? These are all the kinds of things that people are sussing you out about. Jane was very key when she said, when people sign up to a list, even when you send out a big mailing, you're only going to get about 20 to 30 sign-ups. That is very, very true. I know you see ads on the web, we got 6,000 sign-ups in 3 days. Yeah, that might have been from a massive promotion. You don't know what kind of list that person has. I'm not saying that they're lying to you, but I'm saying that, that's kind of stretching it because that's not the norm. But what you can expect is to get 20 or 30 sign-ups. Now, the size of the list, everybody talks about, these massive lists. I mean, we built ours up over 14 years, right? So figure that one out. Work out how many leads that were per day. It's not that many. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that you want to keep, the size of the list doesn't matter. What is important is your relationship with your list members. Now, Jane was talking about, some of our list members are very, very good friends of ours. We've been out to dinner with some of them. I mean, you want to keep it a bit, if you're running a business list, you want to keep it friendly, but you want to keep it business-like. You want to keep it professional, because what happens when you build a professional relationship with your list, and I'm talking about you're offering help to them, you're offering advice, and a lot of that's going to be free. What you're doing is you're building credibility and you're building trust, and they're going to want to know what you know. And many, many people will pay something for that, right? So if you treat them as business friends and you give them good free information and advice, they're more than likely going to honor you with their money at some point and buy some stuff from you because they trust you. You've given them really good advice for free. Imagine what they're going to get if they pay a little bit of something for it. So one of the things that you've got to do is you've got to treat people the right way. Don't try and fleece them. That never works online. It never works in the real world because your customers are just going to go away and they're going to find somebody else. The other thing that Jane pointed out which was very important, is don't copy ads. Do not clone ads. Right? Don't just take an ad from a member area and put your name on it and send it out. People want to know the original you. They don't want to talk to a clone. They don't want to talk to a copy. Why talk to a copy when you can go to the original? If you want people to come to you, be original, be a real person, have a real personality, and talk to them and meet them on their level.
Yeah, I'm going to second that, because I think even if you eventually build a list of 100 people, which people can make a lot of money, by the way, from a small list of 100 people. You don't need 600,000. You just don't. I mean, that's nice to have, but, frankly, that was over many, many, many years. So the main thing is to be you and let people see it in your ads and to establish a routine so that people know when you're going to contact them, and try to contact them really regularly. If you can, try to contact them daily. Now, I'm going to talk to you about two things because we're talking about lists. And as you guys know, I join a lot of lists. When I find a good one, I tell you about them. In fact, I'm going to talk to you about these bonuses in a minute, but these two mailers for serious marketers only is a list that I told you about. And I love this list. It's only got about 290 people on it. It is not a big list, not a big list, but because of the way it was set up, it is for serious marketers. So I get these huge, I literally get sales every time I mail on this list. So when I found that out, I told you guys about it. It's a really good list. So I would join that one. And this one is, I think this is $99 to join one time and then over and out. This one is really inexpensive. It's a bigger list. I think it's over 1,000 now. And it's really, really inexpensive. And I don't know, there's just something about the owner of this list that I really admire. He's not making a lot of money from the sale of the list, because last time I looked, and I could be wrong, it's like $29 one time to belong to this mailer. So definitely get that one, because that's really cool. Could have gone up by this time, but point is, you need to keep joining lists. That's very important so that you can grow your own list, but you don't need huge lists, and you don't even need to be mailing to huge lists. Now, let me tell you my two favorite ways and they're both about lists. I'm going to tell you why this is called Tag Mailer. And it's part of Cool Tags, if those of you are members of Cool Tag. The reason, and most people don't know this, mostly because probably Phil and I haven't done a good job about telling people about this, but if you're a platinum member, which is lifetime, you pay once and that's it. This is a huge list, by the way. It reaches about over 500,000 of our list members. Not all at once. You could mail 9,500 members, so it keeps rotating. So you're reaching a lot of new members all the time. But then we snuck in a little secret thing on this mailer. And what it is that every day that you mail to, say, 9,500 members, which is what you can do if you're up at the highest level on this site, we snuck in that you could also mail every day. So this is sort of like having your own list every day to all of the Cool Tag members. Now, Cool Tag is not a huge site. It's got about 2,000 members. But what that means is that when you mail on Cool Tags, and you could do this daily, so this is why I'm pushing this so hard. So every time you're mailing to 9,500 different list members, mostly different list members, because you're sort of going around robin and of these 500,000 members, you are also mailing every single day to an additional 2,000 members. And of course, as Cool Tags grow, that number grows. So it's sort of like having a little special mailer off on the side that nobody knows about, plus this big mailer that you're mailing to. Now, if you go into the members area of Cool Tags, Phil, just put up cooltags.com so people can know what I'm talking about. Because you ultimately, if you buy this, you're going to need to go into the members area of Cool Tags. Usually it's $5.97. That's what the mailer sells for. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, guys, but when you're able to reach 500,000 members that somebody else has built, meaning Phil and I, that's a very good deal. Now, for the webinar, we took 35% off. So This is not anywhere on the net. It's not anywhere else but here. So you can get this deal, which is the highest membership's lifetime. You just pay once, but you're really mailing to two different mailers. Our main big huge mailer, and then this special cool tags mailer. So I love this list. That's all I'm going to say. It's really of all the mailers I belong to, and most of you know I wrote a book on mailing called on Mailers, All Your Lists in One Place, which has a lot of good mailers in it. But if you ask me which is my favorite, it is Tag Mailer. If you're not a member of Tag Mailer, I really, really, really suggest you, if you can swing this, to go for this. Now, the other way to build a list is a really interesting way, and that is at So Cool, because we actually build a targeted list for you at So Cool. Not if you join it free. You can join So Cool free, and you're welcome to join So Cool. Can you put up SoCool.com, the links? Because maybe some of you aren't members of So Cool. But I want to point out this about this $297 payment. It makes you a silver member of So Cool. That's what the regular cost is in the members area. When you become a silver member of So Cool, you usually get 500 instant list members that you can mail to, but we're going to give you 1,000. And you get 1 year of a silver membership at So Cool. So we're going to give you 2 additional years free, meaning you pay for it today. We extend it out to 2018, February 2018. That's a really good deal. Then on top of the 1,000 instant list members, and this is not just any list members, guys. These are targeted. Because let me explain something about So Cool. When people sign up to So Cool, they have to pick 3 areas of interest. So let's say they pick coaching and biz ops, or blogging or advertising or whatever, pets or doctors or lawyers. We have everybody, every type of thing, category you can imagine on So Cool. So what we look at when we give you 1,000 list members, we don't just give you any 1,000 list members. So Cool has over 100,000 members. We look at what your interest was when you signed up. So let's say you signed up with 3 areas of interest: home business, biz ops, and blogging, just to give an example. We will split your 1,000 list members between the 3 areas of your own interest, so that these are targeted list members who have also picked the same area of interest. There's nothing like this on the net. I guarantee you there is nothing like So Cool on the net. Now, in addition, we give you 10 million tokens. I don't have time to go into what tokens are. They're kind of credits, but we auto build this 1,000 person list. You don't do a thing. We give you 10 million tokens. We make an offer of tokens. People who want to follow you grab your tokens. Let's say we make an offer of 100,000 tokens to every person who follows you. So they grab your tokens, but you got 10 million of them, so you don't really care, and you can earn more back. So they grab your 100,000 of them, but they're following you. They're following you. So this 1,000 becomes 1,001 and 2. And you don't do a thing. You literally do not do a thing to auto grow that list. What your job is to email this list every 3 days, because that's part of what this $297 buys you. And remember, this is for 3 years. You pay once, you don't pay again for 3 years. Okay, so you email them, and just like we were speaking about earlier, if you can email 1,000 list members that are targeted to your area of interest, and you can do it every 3 days, please do it every 3 days. I have people that I have known on my list for years who write to me and say, "Oh, I didn't know you could email people on SoCool. Yes, you can. SoCool is a posting site where you can post to Facebook and Twitter and millions of different posting sites. But the strongest part is that we auto grow a list for you and you can email that list. What are you going to do? You're going to steal those list members by sending out a capture page every time you contact them, and you are going to get them on a list of your own and develop a relationship with them. This is why I love SoCool. I make 75% of my sales guys using SoCool because every day I have a list now at SoCool of about 19,000 members. I don't that list just auto grows because I offer these SOCINs, which if you join SoCool, there's a training tape that will explain all about SOCINs, but I make a big offer of SOCINs and people follow me. Now they're on my list. Now I can email them. So these two deals, this one you're not going to find anywhere on the net. It's just not around because actually I don't want too many people on my favorite mailer. So we keep it sort of a secret. But anyway, you can get a good deal with that, and you certainly can get, if you're trying to build a list and you need a place to start, this is absolutely one of the best places to start, is this 3-year, which is really 2 years free. Because if you look at the upgrade in SoCool, it is $297 for 1 year. It doesn't come with 1,000 list members. It comes with 500. It doesn't come with 10 million SOCINs. It comes with 7.5 million. And it certainly doesn't come with 2 years free. So, this is something we're going to be promoting this weekend. And if you can swing this, grab this. Okay, so let's hear some questions from you guys. I know Phil's been answering questions as I'm talking. That down here, by the way, are just related links. This is a book that I wrote on your list. If you're not a member of On Your List, it's $47 and then another $67 if you want an unlimited account, $114. You need to, this and SoCool are absolutely the two best sites on the net. That's it. They are. Okay, so here's another very big mailer. I told you about this one's inexpensive and a good one. This is a nice mostly paid members list, which I really like, and you can earn 100% commissions. SoCool Gold, that's a 5-year membership, and $100 bill. We didn't talk too much about the fact that when you have your own admin mailer, like you do it on your list, or a $100 bill, you can grow lists here, both an on your list and a $100 bill, and you can mail to them, and you're the only one mailing to them. So that's why these related sites are on there, and you can look them over at your leisure. But I would definitely, if you can get both of these, get both of these. If not, choose one that seems to make sense to you, but you need to start growing your list, guys, and you need to email them. And that's the most important thing you can do. Now, Phil, are there any general questions that I can answer because I'm happy to do that. Oh my God, Phil answered everybody's questions. I don't believe it. If you guys have any, I'm going to be here. So shoot Phil your questions because I'm happy to answer any questions that you want. Where's Matthew? Is he still here? Hi, Diana. Oh, I didn't get to say hi, Tony. Nice to see you. Hi, Eli. I didn't get to say hello. Hi, Gabriella. Nice to see you. Larry, great to see you. And another Larry Patrick's. Nice to see you. Linda, great to see you. I said hello to a lot of you. Russell, I didn't get to say it. Steph, nice to see you. It's great to see you guys. I hope this was beneficial for you. Please do not be shy about asking questions either of Phil or of me. the best address to reach me at is janemark4@gmail.com. And the best address to reach Phil at is jporders@gmail.com. And you are welcome to contact us. We try to give you our best advice whenever we can, and we're happy to do it. So I hope this was useful. If everybody's had their questions answered, I think we will let you go play. It's the weekend, so we're going to end this webinar. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.